Well, hi everyone, and welcome to session 2 of our Calm Evening series. Lovely to have you here, and I really appreciate you helping me as I get familiar with Zoom, get to test out the tech stuff, all of those sorts of things. So that's what I get out of it. Hopefully what you will get out of it is a chance to make that transition from everything else that may have been going on for you during the day, particularly if it's been a bit of a crazy, chaotic day, and to give you that space to shift into what will hopefully be a calm evening for you. So we'll do some similar things to last week. What we will be changing this week is we'll be doing some more kind of flow series. And a flow is just a simple movement, a couple of simple movements paced together that are in time with your breath. But let's start by taking the chance just to settle in here. So come into whatever is a comfortable seated position for you. Certainly doesn't have to be cross-legged. You want to be in a place where you're comfortable, and if it feels okay for you, you might want to close your eyes. And all we're going to do here to start is just notice. Notice how you're feeling. Maybe notice your mood. Notice your breath. Just something that can help us pay attention to our breath and feel where it happens to be landing in our body. It's possible to place one hand on your chest, one hand on your belly. And sorry, I'm just a little distracted because there's a kangaroo standing by the door outside. How lovely. Anyway, one hand on the chest, one hand on the belly. If your eyes are closed, take your attention to notice how your body moves with each breath. So what we're taking our attention to here is whether your breath is landing more in the upper chest or it's more your belly that's moving. And while you don't need to change anything now, the goal is to, eventually with some practice and time, see if you can deepen your breath and take it lower down into the body so you're getting more movement with your belly than in your chest. And that's just because that's a more calming breath for us to have. Let's just take one more breath like this. And then just allowing your hands to rest wherever they comfortably want to go. We're going to come into our 3 sighs. So one of my favourite methods to use to slow my breath down. So take a deep breath in through your nose and sigh that breath out through the mouth. And again. Just for the last time. And then if it's comfortable for you, close your mouth and see if you can follow a similar pattern of breath with that longer exhale. Just breathing in and out through the nose. Lovely. Let's just do one more round of this. Beautiful. And then we're just going to bring our attention back into our face and neck And holding on to that pace of breath, we're just going to make some very small, gentle movements that are in time to our breath. So we're going to take a breath in, and as we exhale, we're just going to gently turn our head to the right. Next inhale, come back to the center. Exhale, turn your head to the left. Good, and again, inhale to the center. Exhale to the right. Inhale, center. Exhale to the left. Good, once more, either side. Inhale, center. Exhale, right. Inhale, center. Exhale, left. Beautiful. Then bring your head back to the center once more. I'm going to just do a quick kind of body relaxation here, just starting with the face. So I just want you to notice any areas where you may be holding tension in your face, and it might be nice just to gently massage across the forehead, around the eyes, even into your cheeks, around your jaws, maybe gentle movements with your mouth. We often store a lot of tension here. And then just down, rubbing into your neck and the tops of your shoulders. Lovely. And then again, bringing your hands down by your side, we'll start with our warm-up series. So starting at the top of our body, we're just going to gently turn our head over to the right, and we're going to draw a semicircle, half a circle with our head, and take it over to the left. Good. And then we'll reverse that movement back to the right. One more time. Back to the left. Good. And we'll finish this on the right hand side, and then we'll do these little semicircles underneath. So dropping the chin down as we turn our head over to the left, and then come back to the right. Lovely. And again. And back to the right. Good. And bring your head back to the center. We're going to scrunch our shoulders up. Release them down and back. Raise them up. And release them down and back. And then let's do that the other way. Do some shoulder rolls, bringing them forward. Good, and then we're just going to make this movement a little bit bigger by placing our hands onto our elbows. Excuse me. I'm going to bring those elbows together, circle them back, around, and down. Good, so keep going with this movement. This is a really nice movement to do to kind of counter all of that sitting that you might be doing, time on a keyboard if you've been driving a lot. Lovely. And then let's take this in the opposite direction. Good. So you're still connected to your breath. Lovely. Still making possibly those exhales just slightly longer. And release. We're going to come into the first of our flows, which we did last week, which is Circle of Joy. So it's just 4 movements to this in time to your breath. So as you inhale, we're going to bring the hands in prayer to the heart center. We'll exhale, interlace the fingers, take those arms forward, chin down to the chest. On your inhale, raise those arms up. Exhale, circle them down by the side. Good. And again, inhale, exhale. Beautiful. Inhale, arms up overhead. Exhale, circling wide. Bring those arms down by the side. Good. One more time. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, arms up, overhead. Exhale and bring them down by the side. Lovely. Just notice how you feel after that. Just going to take the arms around behind, clasp hold of the opposite forearm or elbow, and we're just going to let the weight of those arms start to help us to open up across the front of the chest. Right. So just allowing our body to open up here and release. We still want to be taking the breath down to the belly if that's a comfortable pattern for you. Good. One more breath here. And then we're just going to release, give everything a bit of a shake and start to move into our hands. So let's interlace our fingers again. Just reverse those palms. This time stretching forward. Good. And then bringing the palms together, we're just going to slide them back and forth. So we're gently massaging through our finger joints. Good. And then we're going to take our right arm forward, flex at the wrist, gently pull back on the fingers. So I always like to do this as our warm-up before we go into any tabletop poses, kneeling poses. Excuse me, hands on the floor. Lovely. And the other side. Good. So that was a nice stretch for the underside of our forearms. Going to stretch the top side of our forearms here. So what we do here to come into this pose is we're going to bend our arms at the elbow, bring the hands down to the shoulders, and then you're going to tilt your wrists. Bring them down towards the shoulders even more. And then keeping our wrists at this angle, just going to gently see if we can start to straighten the arms a little. And then bring the arms back to the shoulders, Popeye arms. Good. And then start to gently straighten the arms again. Beautiful. We'll just do this one more time. Popeye arms. Good. And starting to extend the arms back. Lovely. And then let's release. We'll do some circles with our wrists. First one way and then the other. Good. And then from here, we're just going to take our legs out in front. So I'm going to come off my block for this. Extend my legs forward. Take my arms around behind my back to support me. And to move into our hips, I'm just going to gently swivel my feet from side to side. So you can see that this movement actually comes from the hips where the ball and socket joint is. So that gentle warm up there. And then if you want to make this movement a little bit deeper, we're going to come into windshield wipers. So legs are bent, soles of the feet on the floor. And we just gently lower the knees from side to side. Good. Once more either side. Lovely. And then we're going to extend our legs long again. Bend the right leg, right sole of the foot, just somewhere along that left leg. So whether it's further away, closer to the ankle, or you can bring it up against the inner thigh and lower that right knee down. If your right knee doesn't lower down, it might be nice to place something underneath, whether that's you've got a yoga block or it might be a Tupperware container or something like that, just so it feels supported. From here, we're just going to turn our body back towards our left leg. We're going to come into a gentle forward bend. So we're starting to stretch through the back of the leg. We're also getting a stretch through our back as well. And we're going to do this with our breath. So we're going to inhale here, and then it's usually on an exhale that we fold into poses. Good. Stay soft around your shoulders here. Stay relaxed. Keep using your breath. Lovely, and one more breath here. And then to straighten up, we do that usually on an inhale to raise ourselves up. And from here, let's come into a gentle twist. So we're going to come around to the right hand behind us, left hand can go on right knee, and we're going to gently twist ourselves over to the right. Good, so nothing has to be too far here. It's our warm-up series that we're doing. Lovely. And then we'll bring the body back to the center and we're going to swap legs. Right leg out in front, bending the left leg. Good, we're going to exhale to come into that forward bend. Continue using the breath. Stay soft if you can. And one more breath here. Good. And then inhale to bring yourself back up. Left hand around behind the back. Right hand on left knee for your gentle twist. Good. Lovely. Then we're going to bring ourselves back to the center. We're just going to bring the soles of the feet together this time. Knees out to the side into cobbler pose. So depending on how flexible you are, and I'm not very flexible around the hips, depends on how close you bring your heels to your groin. So some of you may have your heels right up high and you may have your knees flat down on the ground. Other people may have the knees much further away. Really doesn't matter. And if it feels okay for you, you can gently, and only gently, move those knees up and down. Good. And then we're just going to take our legs long onto the ground, come into staff pose, our base seated pose, just in a little bit of an angle to help you see a bit better. So again, if you prefer to have your hands behind you to support you, or you can just use your core muscles here, and we're going to move into our feet. So we're just going to point our feet. So this gives us a stretch along the top of the legs, across the top of the feet as well. And then we're going to flex, possibly heels coming up off the ground. Good. And again. And again. Good. And then we'll do some ankle rotations. And the other way. Good. And then we're just going to scrunch up our toes, spread them apart, scrunch them, and spread them. And now that we're finished with our warm-up series, we're just going to make our way onto our hands and knees. And we're going to start to do some flow sequences. So those movements that are in time to the breath. So this one is cat, cow, child flow. Feel free, if your knees are a little bit tender, to put something underneath to pad them. And then reconnecting with your breath. We're going to move in time to our breath. So every breath has a movement, every movement has a breath. So on the inhale, you can raise the arms up. Exhale, hands down onto the floor and arch your spine up towards the ceiling into cat pose. Inhale, belly down, raise the head up, cow. And then we're going to exhale, come back to child's pose. And that's the flow. So again, inhale, up on our knees. Exhale, into cat. Inhale, cow. Exhale, into child. Good. So we'll do a total of 5 of these. Inhaling up. Exhaling cat. Inhaling cow. Exhaling child. So it can be really nice just to kind of get into the rhythm of movement and breath together. Exhale cat. Inhale cow. Exhale child. Inhale up. Exhale cat. Inhale cow. Exhale child. Last one. Inhale up. Exhale cat. Inhale cow. Exhale child. And we'll finish here. And you may just want to pause here for a moment. And it can be nice to give your head something to rest on. So I'm just stacking my fists here. Might be chin on hands, elbows on the floor. Or you might be more buttocks up in the air, head down. And notice your breath. Good. So the next flow that we are going to come into is the downward puppy, upward facing dog. So to come into downward puppy, we just bring the hips over the knees, take the arms forward, lower the head down between the arms, and we do this on the exhale. And then on the inhale, we take the arms forward, take the body forward. Good. So we exhale, downward puppy, and you might be moving your arms here, moving your hands to get that stretch. Inhale, upward facing dog. Just the difference with upward facing dog, we keep our pelvis up off the ground. Cobra, the pelvis is on the ground. Good. Exhale, downward puppy. Inhale, upward facing dog. And of course, the pace of your movements don't need to be the same as the pace of mine, because they will be matching your breath, not my breath. Lovely. Last round. Upward facing dog. Exhale. Downward puppy. Lovely. And again, if from here you prefer to ease yourself back into a child's pose, you may like to come into a wide-kneed child's pose here, extended child's pose, to get a little bit more of a stretch through the hips. And then you can just start to allow yourself to release the body to lower down between the legs. One more breath. And then just raising yourself upwards. Let's bring the knees in together, hands onto the floor. Just going to tuck the toes and get a stretch through the backs of our feet. So depending on what your feet are like, how tight they are, will depend on how far up you can go, how much weight you can bear. So you may be able to shift all of that weight back, up, over the feet. We won't be here for long. Good. And then we're going to place our hands onto the ground, raise the knees up, bring ourselves up, and we're going to come into seaweed pose, which is our standing forward pose where we're going to sway gently from side to side. For seaweed, we have the feet a little bit further apart. Keep a bend in the knees, and you're just going to allow yourself to roll forward. And then all we're going to do here with your breath is gently sway from side to side. So it's an inhale on one side, exhale on the other. Good. Now it's as if you're gently floating with the movement of the ocean. Let's just do this once more on either side. And then just bring yourself back to the center and start to slowly roll yourself up to standing and come into mountain pose. So mountain pose, the feet are closer together. Just notice how you're feeling, and you might want to close your eyes, just bring your attention back to the breath, making sure you're still relaxed around the belly. Good. Noticing how you feel. From here we're going to come into a dynamic balancing pose. So if you feel like you want to stand closer to something to support you, the wall or a table or something like that, feel free. But we're going to move into crane pose, where we just shift our weight from one foot to the other. So if you haven't started already, weight onto the right leg. We're going to inhale, raise that left leg up, exhale, and lower it down. Good. The other side, inhale, exhale. Please keep going. Inhale, it comes up, exhale, it goes down. Good. And then this time we're going to hold the pose. Good. We can lower down and swap sides. Good. And lower back down. Nice. Again, notice how you're feeling. Particularly if you're starting to feel a little bit on edge, holding that balance. It's a chance to take another long, slow breath in. Long, slow exhale out. Good. From here we're going to do some half sun salutations. So this is kind of my favorite of all the flows that we're doing tonight, and it's one that I do most mornings. It's usually my first little bit of yoga I do to start the day. So coming back into mountain pose, and we're just going to do a gentle external shoulder rotation so the palms are facing forward. I'm going to do this standing side on to you though. So with our breath, we're going to inhale. It's the gentlest of back bends here. Exhale, hands come to the heart center. Inhale, raise the arms up overhead. Exhale, we're going to come into a swan dive to a standing forward bend. Inhale, hands on the shins to halfway lift. Exhale, standing forward bend with bent knees. Inhale, reverse that swan dive. Exhale, hands to the heart center. So that was one round. Let's do it again. Inhale, arms by the side. Exhale, hands to prayer. Inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, we swan dive. Standing forward bend. Inhale, we halfway lift. Exhale, bend the legs. Inhale, reverse the swan dive. Exhale, hands to prayer. And again, inhale. Exhale. Inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, swan dive. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, standing forward bend. Inhale, reverse your swan dive. Exhale, hands to prayer. 2 more rounds. Inhale, arms by the side. Exhale, prayer. Inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, swan dive. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, forward bend, bent legs. Inhale, reverse your swan dive. Exhale, hands to prayer. Last one. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Swan dive. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, rebend. Inhale, reverse your swan dive. Exhale, hands to the heart center. Arms by the side. Again, just pause. Notice how you feel. Let's come into some gentle side bends, just because we haven't done any yet. So we're going to stand the feet a little bit further apart, place our hands onto our hips. And then do this with our breath. We're going to inhale, raise that left arm up. Exhale, gently lean the body over to the right. Beautiful. Keep going with the breath. We'll inhale back to center. Exhale to the left. Good. And again, inhale up. Exhale. Side bend. Inhale up. Exhale, side bend. Once more, either side. Inhale up. Exhale. Inhale up. Last one. Exhale. And then we just inhale to bring the body back to the center. Good. So in yoga, we always like to do some counter poses as well, particularly if we've been working deeply in one kind of direction. We balance that, we counter pose. So just to counter pose our side bends, we're going to come into a forward bend. So feel free to be quite soft in this if you want. Just bend your knees, ease your hands down. I'm just going to pause here for, a breath. And then we're going to bend our knees a little bit deeper, hands onto the floor, and come down onto a seated pose. And we'll do our last flow here. So we're going to keep our legs bent, soles of the feet on the floor as we lie down. And this is what's called a wind release pose, or wind release flow. So we're going to start off doing it just one leg at a time. And then if it feels okay, if you've got the core strength, if it feels okay on your back, you can have a go at doing both legs together. So to start, we inhale, raise the arms up overhead. And then as we exhale, we just bring the right knee up towards the chest, clasp our fingers around the outside of the leg. Good. Then when you're ready to inhale, we lower that leg down, arms overhead. And then we exhale, to the other side. Draw the left knee up towards the chest. Good. Again, inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, right knee to chest. Inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, left knee to chest. So you can either keep going one leg at a time, or if you want, you can try bringing both knees up towards the chest. Good. And then we inhale, lower the feet, arms overhead. Exhale, wind release pose. Beautiful. And again. Last time. Exhale. Good. And you might just want to stay here for a little while. Perhaps gently rocking from side to side. Maybe doing some circles with the knees. And just to move different parts of your back onto the floor, effectively a little bit of a back massage. Good. And then lowering your feet down onto the floor. If you've got the space, arms out to the side. Let's just come into a single spinal twist. I'll do it to the other side. So we're just going to lower our knees over to the right. And if it feels better for you, you can place something underneath your knees. Again, that Tupperware container or a book or something. Possibly turn your head to the left. See if you can stay relaxed across your back, even your face. And then on an inhale, we'll raise our legs back up. I'm going to exhale, knees to the left, possibly head to the right. And let everything soften and relax. And then on an inhale, bring everything back to the center. Let's just take the legs long. Raise the arms up overhead. Come into that full body stretch. And then when you're ready to come out of this, do it on an exhale and sigh your breath out. And let everything soften and relax. So it's time for our final relaxation, and it's up to you whether you stay here in corpse pose, or if there's another pose that you would like, just something very relaxing. You might prefer to lie on your belly or lie onto your side. You've just got 6 or 7 minutes until the end of class. You're just coming into a space that is comfortable for you, where your body feels supported, so you don't have to make any effort at all. Just make sure too that you feel warm here as well. You might have a blanket or pop your socks on or whatever. And we'll just spend a little bit of time reconnecting with our body and our breath. So like we did at the beginning of the class, let's just take that deep breath in through the nose and sigh or even yawn. That breath out. And then just let your breath settle into whatever is a comfortable rhythm for you. I want you once more to bring your attention back to your face and just start to allow all those areas to soften again without touching this time. So start to release around your forehead, your eyes, temples. Soften your cheeks, mouth. Perhaps let your lips gently part. Release around your jaw. And then continue to allow that softness to spread down through your neck, throat, across the tops of your shoulders, all the way down into your arms, hands, all of your fingers. And then bringing your attention back to the tops of your shoulders, see if you can feel that sense of ease and softness spreading through the top of your back, across your chest, down into your belly, mid-back, your hips, groin, and lower back. And then soften all the way down your legs to your feet and all of your toes. Just continue to allow everything to soften and to release. And then I'm just going to be silent for a minute or so. And you may like to say to yourself something like, I breathe in relaxation. I breathe out tightness, stress, pain, whatever doesn't feel like relaxation. I breathe in relaxation. And I just breathe all that other stuff out. Now as you bring your attention back to your body, just see if there's anything that you can notice about your body. Whether you can feel a softness here, a calmer sense than you felt at the beginning of the class. Maybe a gentle sense of release. And then, of course, up to you if you want, you can just remain here for as long as you want. Or if you're ready, you can start to make some very small, gentle movements. Just to start to ease yourself back into feeling a little more awake and a little more alert. And then whenever you're ready, just make your way back to your comfortable seated position. Bring your hands back to the heart center, back into prayer. And I'll just close the class with a single gentle Om. So deep breath in. Lovely. Thank you so much for sharing yoga with me this evening. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your evening. Namaste.